Hi, Tokyo Tops.
So we are here outside on the top of the building of Shibuya Parko.
Yes, Shibuya Parko. You can see the lovely Scramble Square behind us. It's a beautiful spring night.
It is. So today we kind of do a little bit more interactive video. I asked on the Instagram assumption people have about us. So today we're gonna answer those assumptions. So I think that's something I want to do a twist. I want to be a little bit more playful.
Okay.
Should I answer assumption about you? And you
Sure.
answer assumption about me.
Sure.
And if there's anything we need to clarify, we can clarify
Okay.
by ourselves.
All right.
Okay. So let's get started. Okay. So the first assumption for both of us.
Okay.
Okay. You both came from a heartbreaking relationship.
What? Where's this coming from?
So I'm gonna answer for you. Maybe not. Not that I'm weird of. Oh, yes. Well, but it was not a relationship. It was kind of like a ship.
A ship? A ship?
I don't know. It was what's that? It was like relation. It's not a relationship.
It's a relationship. That's what I like to call
Relationship.
them. I've come from a lot of
Disappointment.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. I don't think I can really call a lot of them relationships. I don't think they've survived a lot to be relationships, but it's more like the building up of disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, I think, for me. For you, we all know that you have your big disappointment, your Yokohama disappointment, your heartbreak, Yokohama heartbreak. You can call that, you can make that a song. I think I'm even editing a video of you right now, and you're talking about that relationship again.
Which one?
Udon.
I talk about.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's from Osaka.
Yeah, but like you bring him up quite often to the point where it becomes very obvious to everyone that he had such a significant impact on you.
I still think he's the love of my life, and he's the person who is destiny for me. But I lost it, so I probably don't get the second chance for other people because I already had it.
That's with the idea that there's only one person for everyone in the world, and with so many people in the world, with billions of people in the world, there's got to be more than one.
Anyway, so
Okay,
yes.
so yes,
I am from a heartbreaking experience, and I'm still haunted by it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not really that close anymore because of your channel. You're stuck. LOL.
I think our relationship has changed a lot. I think there has been a negative change. I feel like in the way that kids really test a marriage, I think that this channel has really tested our friendship. There's a lot of pressure about like who's gonna do what, how's gonna do what. You know, you're raising your kid this way, and the other parent goes, I don't think that that's the right way to raise a kid, or don't say that. That's not good for the kid, or you should do this, right? It's always like that sort of thing, right? And I think that's the channel is our baby.
I don't think I'm not close to you. You know, like I feel like I can be completely honest with you. Like anything I can just share with Andrew, but there are a reduced number of how we share things. We used to like talk about relationship, talk about like love interest, those kind of like just usual friends conversation. But like we don't really talk about this kind of like nitty gritty or like trivia things anymore. But lots of our conversation is about the channel, and actually that's a lot of time of talking as well.
Well, that was another thing I was gonna say as well. We spend so much more time
than even before.
Yes.
You know, I trust Andrew 100%. So are we closer or are we like more distant? I'm not sure, but definitely a change in some way.
It changed the dynamic.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that we talk to each other. Like, who do you talk to the most?
Obviously
in your life?
you.
Me.
Yeah,
who do I talk to the most? Andrew.
Yeah. And then remember that even when I'm not around Meng, I'm editing Meng.
He's probably seeing my face
all the time.
time.
So it's all the time, right? So especially if like you have like some like snarky comment or something, and I'm like editing that, you know,
You get annoyed by
you know,
that.
and then I'm like, oh my god, here we go. Here's you know this shady ass comment. And I'm editing it, and then after, you know, I'm not mad at you, but I'm not then inspired to be like calling you up and then sharing about.
Yeah, it's like
you know
I have
what I mean?
enough of this.
Yeah,
bitch today.
yeah. And now I'm gonna have my private time and like not talk to Meng because
Yeah.
even though we're not maybe talking in the day, I'm still having a relationship with you because I'm editing you, if that makes
same
sense,
here,
right?
Same here. So another one, actually it's related. You guys really are a couple without sex, maybe. We are co-parenting the YouTube channel.
I mean, we are co-parents. Yes, we are co-parenting the YouTube channel. Our relationship might fit into their definition. Sexless couple who see each other all the time and co-parent a child.
But we have been wronged many times by people saying that we're a couple. Like you're not the only one assuming that. But you know what's my favorite one? Was actually a white party. Everyone thought me and Andrew are together,
that's true.
so people always like doesn't want to approach us.
Yes.
At the same time, one time Andrew find a partner, and he's like Korean American, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he was very confused. He thought he's gonna get into like a threesome situation, like
Yeah.
2-in-1. Right? Do you remember?
Yeah, and he had to think. He was thinking about like if that's what he wanted to do, right? He
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I remember that. That was funny.
So like he actually grabbed both me and Andrew to the dancing floor and was like, no, you guys have fun. You guys go. So he got so confused.
Yeah.
He was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And yeah, so we are not a bundle. We're you don't get 2-in-1. You two have what? This is so weird. You two have not used a double-ended together. No, we never had any
we've
sex.
never had sex.
Do you want to try together a double head?
Absolutely not.
Maybe we can be in separate room, have a glory hole.
Really long, like a really long, like
Yeah.
10-foot.
Yeah, and like in a glory hole and like
No.
situation. But like I just don't get. I have never played a in my life. See, like that's the problem. Like I think I'm sexual over a person, not sex itself.
You're also you are sexual over a person, but I think it's about like the juices of a person.
Juice,
Sweat,
the liquid,
like all that stuff, and I don't think that cannot provide that.
because it's no juice.
No
right?
juice,
It has to be natural juice too.
freshly squeezed.
Next one. Meng has an anxious attachment style. Andrew has an avoidant attachment style. I would say yes. You do have an avoidant attachment style.
I am such a fan of attachment style research. Like I've talked to you about it a lot, right? And I've read the books and stuff like that, and I believe I am avoidant. I actually think there's also a mixture that I might be that I can't think of right now, but avoidant for sure, yeah.
So avoidant means like you're trying to push people away. No,
Yeah.
it's not. Okay, yeah. And also you are attracted to people who push you away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay.
It's a terrible attachment style. It's like the worst attachment style. Anxious attachment style for you, hold on. Anxious attachment style is you cling to people because, I'm not saying you, I'm saying this is an anxious attachment style.
yeah.
You cling to people and you push more and more and more because you're afraid that they're going to leave.
Yeah, if I be entirely honest, yes, I do afraid that people leave me. So I become more like, oh, like baby, how much you love me, baby, like show me more of your love. Previous 2 boyfriends couldn't satisfy me on that category.
Yeah.
So at the end, they just like, oh, that's too much to handle.
Yeah.
Like, I need a balance. You know, it's not like you being like wanting all the attention from me, like. So they just ran away.
Yeah, like I think like an example is like someone who doesn't write you for a day. You might then interpret that something terrible is happening, like they don't like you anymore, or they've got bored with you today, or they're cheating on you, or something like that. You jump to that.
Oh, I love that feeling. 모야모야스.
Yeah.
I got a lot better right now than before.
I've gotten better too. I still have so much more therapy to go through though. Next.
Next. Why aren't you two dating each other? Skip. So people say like no assumption, but I simply just adore both of you and you are doing an amazing job. Thank you. Okay, we have a lot.
Okay.
You're both actually scary when you get angry.
I had an ex once who like got into a knife battle when yeah
Were
Not
you
with me, not with me. It was a past relationship. Police were involved. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what I think is scary.
Okay.
And I am
No.
not that. And I don't think you're like that either.
No, the nastiest argument I had with someone, I threw a piece of tissue that I sneezed on onto that person
God.
to his face, and that was the maximum me. That was all me. So it was like, I hate you.
Oh, because you were crying?
I was crying.
Oh my God.
A tissue.
And what did he do?
He was crying too. It was my first boyfriend.
We're back to question one.
Yeah, and it was when we were breaking up. That's the worst. That's the
yeah.
worst time I threw a tissue. Not a tissue box, a piece of tissue. No damage, zero. Boom.
Zero. No knives were involved in this breakup.
But I don't know, because you aren't angry. But I would say you get grumpy sometimes, and I get very stressful. Look at you.
Yeah.
when you
I'm not gonna attack you. I'm not gonna cut you. I'm probably not even gonna say nasty things to you. I'm probably just gonna shut off and go home
Yeah.
and probably not talk to you until I'm ready.
Yeah, so that's not scary at all.
think
I
that's
don't
scary.
define that as scary. We're just angry. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Ming likes sweets.
Not as much as me, but I think Meng likes sweets insofar as they represent something high end. Like you would like to go for like a nice like 700-800 yen piece of cake. Like I think that you would enjoy that experience. But I don't think you're gonna go buy something at the convenience store to get sugar.
I do like a high-end experience.
So I'm saying, yeah. So if you go and
The
you get your
environment,
strawberry shortcake sort of thing, like at a nice
Yeah.
I think you would do it.
But I do like ice cream because one thing I do realize is after becoming adult, like sometimes I do crave for snacks and sweets because like it just gives you a little bit happiness into your life, and sometimes I feel tired or miserable.
Sugar makes you happy.
Yeah. Okay. It's a common thing.
It's a thing. Yeah. That's how you eat your feelings.
Okay.
I eat my feelings all the time.
You're very picky about men, or rather about everything. You have very high standards.
I mean, this is you answer for me, right?
Yes, I think so. But I don't know. Have anything changed, by the way? Do you still looking for a go-go boy? But I don't think that anything's wrong. Obviously, I don't want you to date anyone that you don't feel physically attracted to. That's a no-no. But
I think that it's a little bit more complicated than me just having high standards of being picky. Like I think there is things that I need to work out in therapy that go beyond that. As I always say, I actually don't think I'm necessarily always like going for people like those standards. Like think of some of the people in the past.
yeah.
Right?
That's not like the statement of saying Andrew only wants go-go boy is false.
Yes.
I can say that.
You know, it could be a form of like always going after someone perhaps that I can't have so that I don't have to open up and actually be vulnerable and actually enter into a scary relationship. You know what I mean? Makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense to me. I'm open to hearing different ideas in order to keep on growing. Is I guess my point, and I don't really have the answer. I have been told that I am picky. You're not the first, but I think that it's more complicated, and exactly. I don't always go for go-go boys.
Yeah, that's a false statement.
That's a false statement. But if you are a go-go boy out there and you want to give me a call, slide into my DMs.
So like, okay, so how can I say this? But you will prefer? Okay, that's quite similar. Next question. You are both into muscular tops only. Haha.
No.
No.
And you know exactly a particular person who,
I know one person though.
but you know that person.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly.
Oh, he's not. But I would change one word. Okay. Andrew is into manly tops only. Or boyish, non-femme tops.
masculine presenting.
Masculine presenting.
Yeah, I would probably say that. Because there have been guys who are not muscular at all that I've been attracted to, but they came on in a very,
お兄さんみたいな。
yeah. So what about you? I actually would say no. I I think if a muscular top came along, you'd be happy. But I also think that that might also threaten you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you would feel maybe a little insecure.
I have never dated anyone who's
Yeah.
super muscular at all. You know?
I don't think you need it.
I don't need
You just
it.
need the juices.
And also financial stability as well.
Yeah, and they're probably, yeah, if you're spending all the time at the gym, you're not spending the time at the office bringing that money home.
You know, like to be honest, like muscle or not, I don't care. I just need someone who is a potential husband. Like responsible.
I think you
Someone's
just
like
you go for very regular body types.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So no muscle tops for me at all.
Yeah.
Ming has played an instrument in the past. Andrew likes rock climbing. What do you think? Oh, Andrew definitely doesn't like rock climbing, but I would say maybe he will get into it because the snowmobile experience like really changed a lot of things about you. I feel like you're probably more sporty than what you actually is.
When I was a kid, my grandmother and I would go down to the beach and we would jump and climb through the rocks together. So I look at rock climbing and I think, even though I imagine it'd be different, I still think it'd be something that I would like. Oh, I used to climb this tree all the time, for instance.
Oh, you can climb a tree?
Yeah, I was super high.
That was crazy. So
Yeah.
you must have some potential for sure.
Yeah, it would be, we would climb to the top of a tree and then it was overlooking a baseball diamond and we could watch people play baseball from like, it'd probably be like the equivalent of like a 3 or 4 story building. We'd climb to the top and then watch and eat popcorn and stuff. It was fun.
That's interesting about you.
For you, playing an instrument, I think that's quite an assumption just because you're Asian.
Asian parents do
Asian
so.
parents, but I don't think you did play an instrument.
Dance is wrong. I did
You
play
did?
it, but I don't remember shit.
Oh.
I actually studied piano for 2 years and I don't remember
You
anything.
have piano fingers, I think.
Yes, when I was very, very young and people have been telling my parents like, oh, you should send him to do piano because he has very nice fingers
Yeah.
for piano. So my parents actually sent me to boarding school. I was in some like very high-end like international school and like learning piano for 2 years. When my family was rich in the beginning, they sent me to like learn drawing, sent me to learn piano, lots of shit like violin, whatever. So I did all that rich kid stuff. But then unfortunately, there was something happened to my family. I just went back to a peasant.
Lost the piano.
I lost the piano, sold everything. I lost my house too. So yeah, but it definitely contribute, you know, building how I'm always wanting to have a expensive
Yeah.
taste right now because I
Yes,
used to own it. But these are all your assumptions about us.
And here's an assumption. There's an assumption that 80% of the people watching our channel have not subscribed. So if that's you, please click the like button and the subscribe so you can follow us and make sure you don't miss a video in the future. Well, and also thank you for writing in and like sending in the questions. That was
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, again, like if you guys want to know more about us, or see us like reacting to your comments, or reacting to different things, I think the best way to like, you know, getting those like, when we're gonna make those kind of videos asking questions from you guys is to follow the Tokyo BTM Instagram and also Twitter and also our personal Instagram because sometimes I don't post on the Tokyo BTM Instagram as well. So if you also want to see more of us,
Find us there on all the socials. And we will see you next week.
bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Okay, let's go. Mike.